everybody.
Hello.
Leia was singing. I wanted her to sing on camera, but she wasn't trying to hear me.
I don't sing.
I got the video.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Yup. I was at the studio.
Nope.
At the rehearsal
Don't
spot.
got it. Anyway.
I got the video.
So anyway,
Shut up, y'all.
tonight we're going to discuss how important is it for people to actually... Wait, what?
What? You and your partner have different beliefs and traditions. She thought of the question from our post earlier, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we decided to choose that one. Thank you, everybody that chimed in. We didn't forget you. We still have other weeks that we'll be doing those topics as well. But we found this one to be kind of interesting. But you and your partner have different beliefs or traditions on, or I guess, religions as well.
Yeah.
And how do you come together with that in your relationship or marriage? And then how do you teach that to your children if you even want to?
And then also, if you do want to instill a religion or things, who takes precedence?
Right.
I run into a couple of people who are from the Jewish faith and who are from the Catholic faith who got married and they decided to raise their children in different religions from their own. So it's interesting.
Right. So, it's usually not at the top of mind awareness like when you're first getting with somebody or you start dating, but it is something that comes up, kind of like the conversation of children. So when do you think the best time is to bring up traditions or religions, or I guess when it comes up? Or
yeah, I think it just needs to be an organic kind of conversation. I don't think it should be forced, or there's a time that you're like, okay, we've been dating for a month, it should come out now, or okay, it's been a year, we should talk about it now. I think it just happened naturally, that it's just like, hey, so what, how many kids, or have you ever thought about having a family, or
a lot of times I guess it comes up when you're dealing with food. That's usually it's like, oh, I don't eat that because X, Y, and Z, because of your religion or your faith, or due to a discipline that you have. And it's like, well, I don't eat that because of this, or I don't eat that because of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing so in your first date, but if it was a second date,
if somebody's offering you bacon and you don't,
there's a way to, we were role playing. There's a way to push it in there to doesn't make it sound like you're being too forceful and you're trying to push kids and scare people away before you get to that point.
Listen,
so
my kids love bacon, so I can understand the faith that we're in. So yeah.
But going back to traditions and religions, we grew up differently.
Very different.
So I grew up Catholic, but I was baptized as Episcopalian, and my parents allowed me to choose my own religion. I was going to church with a neighbor of mine growing up, and I decided from being that and taking part in the church and going to Sunday school and being an acolyte and doing all the things that I wanted to be a part of that religion, and it was very accepting of people, and that's what I liked. So I went into that, but I didn't really grow up very religious. So we believe in a higher power.
Indeed.
But we didn't necessarily believe that going to church would grant us
our way into heaven.
Right. So that's how I was raised, and I was raised to be accepting of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mine was a little different. I grew up in the Jehovah's Witness faith, and my grandmother was devout. She still is. My aunts, everybody. It was just like a big thing. My mom didn't push it on us though. But anytime we had to be with grandma, we had Bible study. We had to go out into service, as they call it, when you knock door to door. Those Saturdays when y'all be slamming the door in people's faces or acting like you're still asleep. Yeah. we had to do all of that, door-to-door service, and I learned a lot, within the faith itself, but it wasn't something that was necessarily forced. We still, prayed into a higher power itself, but it wasn't something that was like, well, you have to, go to the Kingdom Hall. At times we would, me and my brothers, but as we got older, we kind of chose our own way. I studied, pretty much Christianity. I studied Catholicism. Looked into Islam for a minute, but no, because even though it's the same as being a Christian, being a Catholic itself, it's just how you go about it. So it's a Baptist or a Pentecostal, like it's different. My family's a little everywhere, so you walk in and you got a slightly different faith. The good thing about it is the food's the same. Other than that, but yeah, it was just different. So
when we did get together, it wasn't really top of mind until we had Anaya, and then we started. Well, what are we gonna do about Christmas? Mm-hmm. And what are we gonna do about Halloween? And what are we gonna do about Thanksgiving? And that's when we started. He started. Well, I wasn't brought up this way, so I wasn't
a Christmas person.
Yeah,
when you're a Jehovah's Witness, we don't.
So
celebrate.
It was like okay, well, whatever. I'm not into it. And I'm like, but we have children, and children go to school with other children, and I was raised like this and having this, so we got into it a little bit. But
it was all about pagan holidays. Pagan holidays we didn't do. Birthdays are what they are. It's just another day of the week. Christmas is what it was.
But my family was all about celebrating and coming together. So
come together, it just wouldn't be.
And since I am the only child, that was really a way for us to connect.
Cute, so.
For us to connect. So over the years, he's gotten eased into Christmas. We got our Christmas tree when we moved up here, and he was happy.
I ain't even going to hold you up. I was ecstatic to have my own tree. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, okay? And you got so much room. You got everything you need, but not everything, that comes with every celebration. We did the decorations and artsy stuff in school and stuff like that. But when I came home, we didn't celebrate it like that. We got our gifts when Mom got her tax return, around report card time in March. So when we moved up here and we had some space, so let's get a tree. Let's get a tree. And I was ecstatic. I believe the pictures are still online. Me, holding Anaya and putting a star on top, the big cheese on my face, to see the joy in her, and my daughter is great, and also in Leia. And I never really, partook in the excitement itself. You start playing Christmas carols in the middle of October, I'm looking at you sideways like, come on.
No, we don't do that.
It's kind of early.
I don't. That Christmas carols is a touchy subject. We don't do. But
that's another video.
we didn't actually do a tree until we moved up here. So Anaya was around 5 when we started. So even though it was there and I always wanted to do it, I was respectful that I had to ease him into it. Now also like Halloween, Halloween's still here, but she gets to dress up, she gets to go trick-or-treating,
We have some cool neighbors.
We have some really nice neighbors, so it's nice, but it goes back to how do you make that decision to figure out what tradition or what religion you want to raise your children in. And I have like I mentioned, I have a few friends who were Catholic or were Jewish and they got married, and I asked, how do you make that work? And it all comes down to, well, we spoke about it and we came to a decision. We can have a Jewish wedding, but let's raise our children Catholic, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. Or we can do some Catholic holidays, but also keep in mind of the Jewish faith. And I'm using that just because I know people in those two faiths. As in other faiths, I don't know. I'm not an expert, when it comes to that, it may be more difficult for people to actually get together who are from different faiths. But I think love is love, and I always do. If you love somebody, you shouldn't let religion really play a major part in being completely happy with somebody.
Right.
I think religion strengthens a bond between people, but I don't think it should rule your love for that person.
Mm-hmm. It's a guide, it's a guide in faith itself. So as you raise your children, we have on our refrigerator the 10 Commandments. We have, ways of faith. We do nightly bedtime devotions. We read scriptures and different things like that. Our daughter knows there's a higher power. My son knows that there's a higher power itself. And my son's family goes to church pretty much every Sunday. So it doesn't really change the love, okay? But just recognize, as my mom raised us, recognize that there is a higher power if you choose to believe that, and live in that truth. That's it. It's not something that's, well, you have to, and we can get a whole nother topic about religion and how people read the Bible and whatever, scriptures they do, and it becomes the subject or it becomes the perception itself, and that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, because I went to a Catholic school,
right.
But we learned all religions.
Right, so but when you're dealing with children itself, to them, everything in the world is good. Everything in the world is, supposed to be love and happiness. So you want to just make sure that they understand, for their own, understanding, that they're within something that guides them, or that's, part of a faith or something for them to look up or forward to. But it's not everything, okay? Once it becomes everything, I think you kind of lose touch with, being a person, being human, and connecting, with just having love itself. There's no rule book that has every single thing. It tells you exactly how everything's supposed to be in a good way.
Yeah.
And, goodness is also subjective. What's good to one person may not be good to another. So you have to, do what's right in your heart, and making sure that they understand that whatever they're doing and whatever they're following makes them a good person, and they're following in their own correct or right footsteps.
Right.
But bring it up in your relationships, and just get that out the way. When I was dating, I asked, real basic questions. Can you read? Can you write? And do you got all your teeth in your mouth? Because I don't. So I would do that and, get a person to laugh, and then you kind of get into, the other good stuff. The heavy stuff. But as long as you're open and you're communicating, it's not really, that difficult to find out exactly where you are. But when it comes to raising your children, you really have to have a heart-to-heart conversation, like she was saying. And, having two faiths, you might celebrate both of them. Yeah. There's no harm in that.
Yeah, nobody said that you couldn't.
Exactly. Just, be true to yourself. Take that from my mom.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So, thank you for tuning in. We'll be here next week with another great topic.
We got topics for days, and we're also trying to finish this book. So, we'll be keeping y'all posted on that. But if you've missed this if you missed any of our other previous videos, you can go to Leia and Shah on Facebook. That's our fan page. Or you can go to our website at Kellum Unlimited. Go to Leia and Shah, and it has all our videos up there as well. Our blog is up there where we talk about a whole bunch of other things that's going on in the world that we don't cover in our live video feed. Mm-hmm. But go out there and check it out. Follow us on Instagram at Kellum Unlimited.
I'm sorry,
my hair. Your hair. Humidity. It's a beast. Yeah, exactly. See, I got that problem.
But thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.